So Micky, as they like to say, the transfer window is slammed shut. How satisfied are you with the business this month?
Yeah, we're very pleased with the work that we got done. We always wanted to maybe do one more, but that's just been a bit greedy. But no, we're pleased with the work that we got done and have made some good additions to the group.
And are you happy now with the depth of the squad as well, all the areas going towards the last few months of the season?
Yeah, I think that the problems that we had that we quite clearly had was sort of impact, guys coming off the bench and a wee bit of competition for places in certain areas of the pitch, especially at the top end of the pitch, the wide players and front men. Midfield now we have plenty and we've good cover at good areas all over the pitch. So we fingers crossed, touch wood, we should be okay now for the last period of games.
And you mentioned recently how hard you've been putting off the pitch to get players in. Has that work been rewarded, do you think, with getting these players in, the last two on the transfer deadline day as well? The hard work's been rewarded.
Yeah, we've wanted some of these for a wee while now, and it's just that the opportunity comes up in this window for us to try and bring them in. We wanted to bring one or two of them in the summer, but we've been able to do that now. I think sometimes in January it becomes a wee bit easier to bring players in terms of what they might have cost me in the summer. Obviously people want to get out and play for the last half of the season. Our clubs want to change things around a wee bit, and that was probably the situation with a few that we managed to get in, but we're certainly really pleased that we got them in and they're Tranmere players now. As
I mentioned, you got through on deadline day. Regan Hendry first. What kind of player is he? What can the fans expect?
Well, I think MD, who watches a lot of football in our league and watched the games that Regan played against us last season, I've watched him right back since he played at Rovers, so I know him well. We do a lot of hard work on the players, and then he went to Forest Green, and in my opinion was probably one of the best midfield players in the division at what he does. He brings a calmness and really, really good footballing ability. He gets on the ball and he plays, and he's got brilliant range of passing, and he'll take the ball in dangerous areas off the back four and help us to grow up the pitch, if you like, that way. I mean, we grow up the pitch. He helps you pass the ball up the pitch cleanly and consistently, which is important if you want to take the ball in that area of the pitch, because if you keep getting turned over or losing the ball there, either right and goal on you, so it takes a certain type of player to be able to be really good at that. And with his left foot and his know-how of playing in there, he's a good addition to the group and to what we already have.
And is it important that we won promotion with Forest Green last season as well? Is it important to have those kind of players in who've experienced promotion?
Yeah, I think that's an add-on. I think it's great if you can get them and they know how to get out this league and have done it before. I think that certainly the experience of doing that helps. And we bring in the players in that we have. It's an add-on. It makes you, when you do the due diligence on the players, if they've got a promotion under their belt, it certainly would make them more attractive to a player who had the same ability and hadn't had their promotion on their belt, if that makes sense. And they guys have had promotions, so it's good that we can bring them into the group.
And Jay Cook, another attacking player, he's highly rated, isn't he? How much do you like him?
I really like him. What we have to understand at Tranmere is that we will be the first loan for a lot of clubs. I know that's hard to understand sometimes for people, but where we are in the pecking order is that we will get players on their first loans, because second loans, if the first loan has been successful, they tend to move up to sort of League Ones and Championship options in that come for them, or if the big clubs feel that they have a real talent in their hands, and it's a second loan, you struggle to get them. So we have worked very hard to get him, because we know he's a really talented lad and really, really highly rated, and there would be a battle for him for a first loan for pretty much a lot of teams. So to have him here, we're really pleased. But what I will say is he gives us options. there's no shoe in here. We want to have competition for places, and we will play the people who we think are playing well and are able to try and get us a result. So he comes along and helps to create places. He helps to create competition in the wide positions. He can also play holding midfield, but we're not brought him for that. We're brought him to come off the wide areas. He's got a fantastic left foot, a great range of passing, great dribbling ability, scores good goals, got a few goals this season for Newcastle. And we're delighted to bring players of that talent here. Of course, I know he's going to be a good player, but where he is on his trajectory, if you like, of being that good player, we will find out. But he's definitely going to go there. So we just hope that he's at the high end. Is what happens with these loans, and he comes in here and I know that he'll be a real good addition to the group.
It's a great education for him as well, isn't it? You know, because you'll be getting game time in proper league football and also getting a tutorship off yourselves.
Well, that's what we've got to do. We've got to get the balance right between developing our own and trying to win games. And the way to try and do that is if you've got to develop somebody else's young players, you bring good ones, and like we have done with Galazzo and people like that, you know that we're not their parent club, but you know that they're going to come in and create competition and hopefully help your team to win games. Because as we've seen over the last sort of, we're 6 months into the season now, supporters want to see that tipping point. You know, the supporters want to see. They'll say at the start of the season they want to see development, but that'll quickly wear out if they're not winning. So you've got to get to that stage where you're hopefully winning games or looking like winning games that we've been at for a while now, and you're also developing players. So if you can bring players in to help you do that, and that creates that place where the players can just go on with their development, and because they're doing enough to try and win games, then that's the place that we want to be. But of course, we have to try and win games here at Tranmere because we'll be expected to be doing that.
And Jay and Regan in the squad for Saturday. Yeah,
they're all in the squads. Jay won't be done. He's got a return to play thing. He's just had a bit of an injury. What happens now after an injury is you have a return to play process. We have it here, where you would have to do a certain criteria, do certain things in order to try and make sure that you're fit, and don't get returned to the treatment room. And he's on that, but he'll be with us Thursday.
Brilliant. Harvey Saunders made his debut last week, hit the ground running, really good. Does that show the quality of player he is, that he can do that?
Yeah, but he was one that we wanted to bring in this summer, but just couldn't get it done, couldn't get it over the line. Kept monitoring it, kept looking and seeing if we never found somebody else, or he did become available, like sometimes people do in January, for the reasons I gave earlier in the interview. Then we'll try and bring them. So he did become available, and we're delighted to have him here. He's pacey, and he's aggressive, and wants to score goals, and has loads of ambition. Will get fitter himself. He's probably match fitness wise. If he could have an exact gauge on it, but just to give an understanding of where we believe he's at, he's probably about 80% fit. So you can imagine what we believe he's going to be when he gets fully fit, and he'll get that with the tempo of training that we have here and playing games. But there's other players here as well. There are strikers here, young Jake and Big and Bongo, Hemmings, who again will create opportunities for us to play up there, and will create competition in the areas. And if we need a certain type of player for a certain job, then I have more options now at that end of the pitch as well, so I'm pleased with that.
If you look back at last week, it was a good win, wasn't it? Better side, could have scored more goals, clean sheet, late winner. Couldn't ask for more, could you really?
Yeah, but I think we've been playing well for a wee while now, and of course results will always, for a lot of people, dictate the way the performance. That's what a lot of people will do. My job as the coaches and manager is to look at it and say, well, actually, we have been playing all right, and we'll look at the stats and we'll look to back that up and where we can improve. And I think against Walsall, I think we deserved to win that game, and I think against Sutton, I think we did as well. I really do. We just, as I said at the time, I didn't believe that in the moments that are the toughest in football, putting it in net, that we were good enough to do that. But everything else was as good as what we did against Leyton Orient, and it's been like that for a wee while now, in good spells and games. But Saturday we managed to get that goal, threatened to maybe get another one, and then kept a clean sheet and got a good victory. So we just keep going. And
January was quite quiet, wasn't it, for games? You only had 4 because of that postponed game. Now you've got Saturday, Tuesday. Are you excited about that, to get some games in the legs now, to get busy?
Yeah, we want to play. We want to play games. That's what it's all about. So yeah, you're right. February will give us the chance to do that. There's a lot of travelling and all that, but we do things properly. We've got a good group of players, a good squad now that can come in and anything that comes up, any injuries or suspensions that might come up, or losses of form or anything. We've got good competition in places now, and indeed, and certainly now that you can use 5 subs, you can make substitutions if you want to try and rest legs as well, or continue a performance, or give you a better chance of winning a performance as well. So we've got good options all through the group. So today we're sitting in a good place.
And you've got Stockport on Saturday. They've had a good return to the Football League, haven't they? But we see that quite a lot with yourselves as well. When you come up from the National League, you always seem to do well in the Football League.
Yeah, I mean, Stockport have come up a wee bit differently us, and I want this to be said in the right way, but it's Stockport have heavily invested in their group. But to be fair to Dave, he's invested very well. A wee bit different than what we had to do when we came up, but certainly they've brought really good players, and you can see that when you watch them play, that they've got good players there, and they are functioning well as a team. You can see where they are in the league and the results that they get. You know, it's going to always be a difficult place to go, but I will stress this, I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be a great atmosphere. We're taking over a lot of fans. Stockport have a big support as well. I believe it'll be close to maybe a full house, so that's great. That games at our level is attracting that kind of attention. We have to go over there and make sure that we go and perform the way that we have been performing, and go and enjoy the game, and I'm sure we will. We've got the players here now that can go over and enjoy being in that kind of environment and playing any types of games, so it should make for a cracker.
And former teammate of Dave as well. Did you always think he was going to be a manager? He's got a good pedigree as a manager, hasn't he, since he started managing?
Dave's done well. Dave's done really well. Him and Clint, good guys, did really well for Tranmere. Every time we have these interviews, I get asked the same thing, and they'd probably do as well. But teammates of mine, it's pleasing to see that they're doing well, and it'll be good to see them on Saturday, and hopefully we're smiling after the game, and we have a beer after the game, that we always do anyway.
Ahead of the game, what's the injuries like? What players have you been missing? Or?
Every game was tonight. We'd have everybody available. So today everybody available, but as you know in football, and I want to touch the wood again, you never know. But if the game was this evening, everybody who that has been fit, long term ones are obviously still long term, would be available for the game.